Reddit went ahead and did a thing where it used its hive mind to collect a bunch of the best lines in the history of science fiction and fantasy. I have collected them, and today we'll be tier ranking them. And I have some, I would say, pretty solid tiers set up. First of all, we have tattoo worthy / bars. These are lines so good, easily could see someone getting them inked on them permanently, or when you read them, you gotta do a full lap around the room. Right behind that, we have epic / poetic / hilarious, essentially as good as it can be expected to be with what it's trying to intend to do, but not elevated to that point where it's blowing your mind. I will also say, to hit that top tier for me, personally, you have to also be concise, let's put it that way. What's the quote from, I think it's like Abraham Lincoln, correct me if I'm wrong, where it's, if I had more time, I would have written less.
You're not even close.
If you manage to really get me, and you've only used the fewest amount of words possible, for me personally, that's bonus points. So that's the top, the one right behind it. And then we have quotable. This is better than average. This is damn good. I like this. This is something that you put in there, you should be proud of. It's good in your book. Behind that, we got average, mid. I know some people think mid is bad. It's not bad, it's mid. It is just average. 5 out of 10. I don't hate it, but it's not doing anything for me. And then below that, we have eh. This is where it's boring, or there's potentially some problems with this being a list of the best lines in science fiction and fantasy books. I don't think we should have much here, if anything at all. And then what should absolutely stay empty today is bad. Right? At no point should we have anything that's just flat out bad coming in here. But that's all I need to explain. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Starting off, we have something already from a great pick, Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Do not turn away. Do not flee us. Do not flee this scene. I accept your horror, and I expect no forgiveness. But if you turn away, I will name you coward, and I've had my fill of cowards. That's really good. Not one of my favorite lines from Malazan. I will say it's quotable, though. I like the fact that it has a little bit of repetition in the good way. It has a definite overtone of character already being installed just from the what's being said, and then ending on a powerful, almost threat that's implied. Solid. Yeah, you're not going to have a lot from Erikson that's below, quite frankly, quotable. From here, we're going to have another one that is, I used the knife. I saved a child. I won a war. God forgive me. There's a lot of quotes from the Dresden Files that people like to point at as like best lines from the series. I think we're going to probably have a couple more here. I didn't really pay attention when I was screenshotting. I was just like, okay, let's screenshot all the answers, and I can have a real fresh reaction. Anyway, this might be my favorite from the Dresden Files. I don't know. Is it bars tattoo worthy, though? I wouldn't say it's one of the best lines. It's like in the context of the books, it's better than what it just reads outside of it. Like there's so much emotional weight, without getting into spoilers, with what's happening here. That's going to be a tough one. I think I'm going to put it in the middle between epic, poetic, tattoos, and bars. Because it does depend on context, which is not a fault necessarily. But for you to be that top tier, you need to be, regardless of the context, even of the book, just from a language perspective, the greatest. And this is a rather simple language put forward. Anyway, we also have power makes all things right. That is my first law and my last. That is the only law that I acknowledge.
George Orwell, perhaps?
That's Joe Abercrombie, Last Argument of Kings, and that's absolutely going to be in the epic, poetic category for sure. Power makes all things right. That is my first law and my last. That is the only law that I acknowledge. Damn, that's a character builder. Yeah. Is that... Okay, if I'm actually... Okay, I'm going to knock down the Dresden to epic, because it is an epic moment, but it's not tattoos. No one's getting that on them. This is actually in between. All right, I'm realizing we should have a very high bar here today. These are going to be good picks. Hive minds tend to do that, so I'm going to up my standards. We're going to put the Dresden just there, and we're going to put, actually, no, let me think about this more. Because like, it is dependent. In the context of the series, this is an amazing line. But outside of it, I used the knife. I saved a child. I won a war. God forgive me. No, it's definitely, yeah, it's going to stay in this tier here. It's solid. I mean, come on. That is good, and it's concise. All right, speaking of not concise, let's see if this can actually win me over despite its length. What's this from? Oh, it might. Terry Pratchett, Men-at-Arms. Okay. Damn. Take Boots, for example. He earned $38 a month plus allowance. A really good pair of leather boots cost $50, but an affordable pair of boots, which were sort of okay for a season or two and then leaked like hell when the cardboard gave out, cost about $10. Those were the kind of boots Vimes always bought and wore until the soles were so thin that he could tell where he was in Ankh-Morpork on a foggy night by the feel of the cobblestones. But the thing was that good boots lasted for years and years. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while a poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. This is the Captain Samuel Vimes boot theory of socioeconomic unfairness. Here's the thing. It's too long to be anything near the top. Like, I gotta just say, my personal thing, it's not epic, it's not poetic, it's not hilarious, but to be this long and still be what I consider quotable is impressive. For me personally, this is just quotable. It's not poetic. I wouldn't say it's epic or hilarious or anything like that. It's not a great joke. But it is like genuinely, oh, you take that away with you when you read the book. That'll stick in your head and it'll be something you can regurgitate. So absolutely, that's quotable. Damn, loved that one. All right, next up we have, you can never have too many knives. That's probably entirely dependent on the book, and I will just say that's probably... oh, wait, no, I know what that's from.
When Harry died, he had so many knives in his back, they had to bury him face down.
Because it's so dependent on context, I'm going to go ahead and drop it in mid. Because it's just like, yeah, okay. Anyway, here we have another one, and this is going to be from Unsold, the Cradle books. There are a million paths in this world, Lyndon, but any sage will tell you they can all be reduced to one. Improve yourself.
The way to prove yourself is to better yourself.
Definitely quotable. I like that. Yeah, not blowing my mind, but that was, for what it was trying to be, as good as you could be. I like that. Like, good. Good. I would be proud if I wrote that. Reputation is what other people know about you. Honor is what you know about yourself. The friction tends to arise when the two are not the same. There is no more hollow feeling than to stand with your honor shattered at your feet while soaring public reputation wraps you in rewards. That's soul-destroying. The other way around is merely very, very irritating. Wow. Louise McCaster Bjold, a civil campaign. Vorkosigan saga number... I'm dyslexic as hell. That was epic. I think that was epic. Yeah, I like that a lot. It made me go, morality, right? We live in a society. Anyway, next one we got here is going to be, again, from the Dresden Files, apparently. The man once wrote, "Do not meddle in the affairs of a wizard, for they are subtle and quick to anger." Tolkien had that one mostly right. I stepped forward, let the door bang close, and snarled, "Subtle." And yeah, I like this, but it's good. I'm going to put it between mid and quotable. It's character stuff, and it's good. I think, again, like if you're reading the Dresden Files, that's a lot of fun, but outside of it, Now we believe that we invent symbols. The truth is that they invent us. We are their creatures, shaped by their hand, defining edges. Shadow of the Torturer. I think... I get what it's going for, and I think it's doing fine, but I'm just going to put that in a safe quotable. Like, yeah, I can see that, maybe even with more context, being something stupendous, but it's not exactly making me think a ton. A long stretch of road will teach you more about yourself than 100 years of quiet introspection. Patrick Rothfuss, The Wise Man's Fear. Say what you will about Patrick. The guy can... That he's good at, damn it. And yeah, this one I'm putting in poetic. That's definitely a poetic one. There's no denying. There's no denying. Oh, yay! This is from Gentlemen Bastards. Lies of Loch Lamora. Someday, Loch Lamora, he said, someday you're going to fuck up so magnificently, so ambitiously, so overwhelmingly that the sky will light up and the moons will spin and the gods themselves will shit comets with glee. And I just hope I'm around to see it.
I really hate you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that's hilarious. I think that's so good. And it also tells you so much about the context of the story, the characters. Beautifully done. Just beautifully done. There was a boy called Eustace Clarence Scrubb, and he almost deserved it. That's funny. And he almost deserved it. That was, yep. Definitely quotable. It's not hilarious, but that's really quotable. I like that. The sea does not dream of you. Reaper's Gale. Malazan Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erickson. Okay, am I projecting my love of Malazan onto that? Because even that. The sea does not dream of you. This is my list. I'm going to go ahead and say at least that's... It's kind of epic. I'm sorry, that's epic. The sea does not dream of you. If I was on a boat and someone said that to me, I'd get chills. I'd piss my pants. I like it. I'm putting it there. A boy and his demon. A demon and her boy. Shenanigans. The Penric and the Desdemona series by Lewis McCaskill. Oh, okay, there's another one from the series. I think that was... Let me read that again. I'm going to really give this I'm reading a fantasy book absorption. A boy and his demon. A demon and her boy. Shenanigans. That really puts me in a mood. I like that. And it's pretty quotable. That would stick in my head. I'd remember that for a long time. Yeah, I'm going to comfortably put that in a quotable. It's good. As I said, these are supposed to be solid, so I'm not surprised we're having a good list here. The man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger fought. Okay, just because I've heard it a ton, I shouldn't read it like that. The man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. Yeah, it's an amazing opener. It's just that it's said so much. I'm going to put it in epic, but with a little bit of disdain. I've just had this said to me, and I've heard it put so many times. All right. Honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. Words of Radiance. There's no world that does not. So yeah, that's going in epic. No one will deny that. Yeah, they will, but it's my list. So I have tried to dismantle you, Gideon Nav. The ninth house poisoned you. We trod you underfoot. I took you to this killing field as my slave. You refuse to die, and you pity me. Strike me down, you've won. I've lived my whole wretched life at your mercy, yours alone, and God knows I deserve to die at your hand. You are my only friend. I am undone without you.
You can feel the tension in the air.
I think that's epic. I know it's like I'm biased because the books I've read, I can't help but not feel it. But like, even if you haven't read it, that was like Greek. You know what I mean? That's something I expect Achilles to say. I love it. All right. If you are the light, if your enemies are darkness, and there is nothing that you cannot justify. Emily St. John Mandel, Station 11. Okay, yeah, that's our first bars. Bars/tattoo. That was so good. That's so good. Oh, wow. All right. The dead ghosts of planets float through the universe in search of God. The Loch Tomb series. That's close to top tier, isn't it? That's so good. Yeah, I'm going to put that between the two. I like how this is just the people who skip to the end of the tier list to try and see. They're so boned. This will be the highest watch time tier list I've ever made. Wait, let me say that again. I really want to hear that again. The dead ghosts of planets float through the universe in search of gods. This is like the gunslinger in the desert one for sure. Hold up, let me shrink me. I just realized I'm in the way. Haha, now I'm up here. All right, one sentence version. The building was on fire and it wasn't my fault. Yes, that's hilarious. Objectively, that's hilarious for sure. I've just heard it a quintillion times, but I love that line. Is it? No one's getting it. Is it? No. Knitting socks was not a particularly glamorous hobby, but it filled the same mental need as the sword. Careful work that held his attention and hopefully did not allow his mind to wander too far afield. Plus, at the end, you got socks out of it. And no one appreciated good socks like a soldier. T. Kingfisher, Paladin's Grace. That one is definitely quotable. It's impressive that it's quotable after being that long, but I wouldn't say it's epic. It's kind of poetic, but not really. It's certainly not hilarious. So that's a very solid quotable line. It's impressive it's quotable being that long. All right. Wars are hard enough to work without people fighting in the middle of them. Joe Abercrombie, the heroes. It's almost unfair. I think that's funny. I like that. It's tone setting, character building. It also informs you like the plot of what's going on. This is going to be one crowded tier. I maybe should have meant a little more. Anyway. Dungeon Crawler Carl, Book 5, Butcher's Masquerade, Quasar, on how much trouble Carl is in. Oh, God, I am going to get demonetized. Okay, let's get ready for that to happen. You're balls deep in the wrong hole and mom is pulling into the driveway. You get me?
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's so out of pocket. But it's definitely hilarious. It's juvenile, but it's objectively funny, I think. When you cut pieces out of the truth to avoid looking like a fool, you end up looking like a moron instead. Ooh, this has a second one attached to it, and both are Robin Hobb. This is going to be great. Don't do what you can't undo until you've considered what you can't do once you've done it. This might be the most impressive feat of the day. Both of those are bars. Like, I was worried, oh no, we have 2 and 1. Perfect. I want to read those again. God damn, Robin Hobb. When you cut pieces out of the truth to avoid looking like a fool, you end up looking like a moron instead. Don't do what you can't undo until you've considered what you can't do once you've done it. Bangin'. Concise, to the point, wise, just simple language done in a poetic way. Love it. I'm not shouting, Nynaeve shouted. If you've read Wheel of Time, that is one of the funniest character jokes of the entire thing. I think it's hilarious, and it's very well earned with who the character is. I'm biased. Fight me. All right. Next up we have, it's important. Oh, I've heard this one as much as the Gunslinger one. I don't care. It's still that good. It's important when killing a nun to ensure that you bring an army of sufficient size. Begs a question. What world are nuns this big a danger? Second, tone. Clean immediately. 3, stakes, right? Are these nuns super assassins? Are they sexy? I have so many questions. Yeah, this one, it's not going to be a tattoo, but bars.
Hey, stop that nun!
That's easy bars. From Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Okay, I wonder where this is going. I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for his glory. I love only that which they defend. Faramir. Tolkien's cheating. It's obviously tattoo worthy. It's bars. It's everything. It's just perfect. The guy was a master of language. All right. From the Dragonlance, I am the master of the past and the present. My coming was foretold. For me, the gates will open. It's quotable, almost epic. I'm really verging it into epic. I'm gonna put it The only reason I'm not immediately jumping into there, and again, I'm not read these books, shamefully. I know Dragonlance is one I should do. So I don't have the full context. So I think that's going to be, everyone who doesn't have full context is going to be rating stuff probably a bit wrong. But how that's just hitting me raw is like, yeah, it's kind of epic. It's also a little basic. So it's right there. I'm ready for Dragonlance fans to crucify me. Whatever I am, let it be enough. Shades of Magic v.e. Schwab. I think Dragonlance fans are going to be extra mad with how I do this after that. Whatever I am, let it be enough. That I see people getting that as a tattoo. Like that, that's something that's so, yeah. It's almost so obviously great, it's annoying. So, yeah, for me, that's going there. Fight me. I love that line. I don't know why I'm feeling like ashamed. This is subjective in art. I'm allowed to love what I... Oh, Erickson again. Children are dying. Lowell nodded. That's a succinct summary of humankind, I'd say. Who needs tomes and volumes of history? Children are dying. The injustices of the world hide in those 3 words. Stephen Erickson. Deadhouse Gates. Top. I'm putting it over. That's how good it is. It's in the actual rank title. God damn, that guy just doesn't miss. All right. I think I need 2 sentences to make this one make sense. Sorry, you're forgiven. Urban legends can still wrap themselves to fit the times, but everything else is expected to stay the same forever. Sleeping Beauty sleeps over and over again. Snow White never learns not to eat the apple, and her spiritual sister in fruit-based stupidity. Persephone does the same with her new husband's pomegranate tree. Shannon McGuire, Sparrow Hill Road. That was definitely poetic. Yep, that easily goes into here. God, maybe I should have just like categorized these as like what the different kind of awesome they would be. These are great picks so far. I'm glad that and bad have just stayed empty though. I feel like I would be really pissing some people off if I put something there. Oh, this is Malazan again. It's just not fair. We humans do not understand compassion. In each moment of our lives, we betray it. We know of its worth, yet in knowing, we then attach to it a value. We guard the giving of it, believing it must be earned. Compassion is priceless in the truest sense of the word. It must be given freely in abundance. Yeah, just duh. top, man. God. I get that Malazan's hard for a lot of people to get into, but once you are in it, it's just next. It's like nothing else. This line, about 10 pages into Dungeon Crawler Carl, made me laugh out loud and had me hooked. Okay. And let me tell you something about cat people, specifically cat show people. Actually, never mind. Fuck those guys. It's a great line, but I'm just going to put it in quotable. I don't find it hilarious. I find it funny. But that's a great line. It's a good line. All right, this is from The Darkness That Comes Before by R. Scott Becker. There's faith that knows itself as faith, Proyas, and there's faith that confuses itself for knowledge. The first embraces uncertainty, acknowledges the mysteriousness of the God. It begets compassion and tolerance. Who can entirely condemn when they're not entirely certain they're in the right? But the second Proyas, the second embraces certainty and only pays lip service to the God's mystery. It begets intolerance, hatred, violence. That was really good. I like that. That was, yeah. I could see chunks of that even. That is so good. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in top. I like that a lot. Simon Jimenez, The Spear Cuts Through Water. It's one of the best books I've ever read. You can fault the dancer, but more often than not, it is the dance itself that has to change. Yeah, damn, that is. It makes me really, really want to read the book. So, let me read that one more time. You can fault the dancer, but more often than not, it is the dance itself that has to change. I'm going to put it in quotable. Man, this is the most subjective goddamn. I thought this would be more objective for some reason than it is, but it really is. Yeah, I'm just going to put it in quotable. I like it a lot, though. It might be my favorite of the quotables. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but an elopement. To say nothing of The Dog by Connie Willis. I like that. It's a riff on something else, though. And so for the, I know, I'll put it in between mid and quotable, just because I get why people would like that, but it's very based on something else. It's not the opposite of life, but the opposite of choice. Realm of the Elderlings, Robin Hobb. It's not fair with some of these guys. It's not. I'm going to put it in epic. I think it's epic. It's not the top of the tier, but it's so good. Next up, we have one from the Silmarillion. Thus, he came alone to Angman's gate, and he sounded his horn, and smote once more upon the brazen doors, and challenged Morgoth to come forth to single combat. And Morgoth came. I'm trying to figure out if it's just my Tolkien bias that's making me want to put as high as I want to put it. This is hard. Why is this hard? Epic. I'm gonna put it in epic. What else have I put in top? I want to just read something I put in top. It is important when killing a nun to ensure you bring an army of sufficient size. Yeah, that's better in my opinion. I think that's better. And there's gonna be people who are so mad that I said that. Life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. Stormlight Archive. I mean, it bleeds epic. It's tailor-made to be considered epic, from conception to execution. All right, now we have. She never mastered the talent for apologizing, but she appreciated it in other people. Terry Pratchett, Weird Sisters. That's funny character. I love that. Bangin'. It's so funny. Yeah, immediately hilarious. All right, this is from Use of Weapons by Ian Banks. Zakalwi. There has never been a shortage of young men eager to fight and die to preserve the fortunes, comforts, and prejudices of their elders. That's a bar. I'm not gonna lie, I actually think that's bar. Yeah, damn. I think we have our final one. I'm excited to see this. This is, good ending. The Broken Empire by Mark Lawrence. There's something brittle in me that will break before it bends. Super quotable. Definitely just quotable, but very, very quotable. Wow. Good taste, Reddit. I had 2 mid, only halfway to mid, and I filled the rest of the top tiers. Not a lot of dangerous picks here, except I know I'm going to have made people mad with just this slight variation. So, yippee. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope this was fun for y'all. And like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one. Peace.